If you're an EdTech founder and you've been struggling to scale your webinar funnel, then this video is for you. Now, most of the EdTech founders burns a lot of cash when it comes to their marketing, particularly on webinars, but they do not get that output that they're looking for. And there are multiple reasons for that. A, because they don't understand the unit economics. B, they don't know how to make the offer more appealing for the audience. C, they don't know how to nurture and increase the show up rate. And the last point is how to convert and do the follow-ups. So in this video, I will cover end-to-end scaling of a webinar funnel. Whether you do free webinars or you do paid webinars, I'm going to cover both. And when I'm saying webinar, I'm referring to the workshop, bootcamp, masterclass, all of them together. So please ensure that you watch the video till the very end. And if you want the access of this entire SOP moment webinar below, and I will share that with you. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Sachandri. I'm the founder of ScaleEd, and we work with the edtech brands and scale their business. And combinedly, all our framework has generated more than 40 crore in edtech sales. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. So here we go. And as I said, if you want this entire SOP to be shared with you, comment webinar below, and I will share that with you. Now, before we jump into this document, I'll be very clear. By following these systems that I'm just sharing with you, you can easily generate 30 to 50 lakh per month in your edtech revenue. And if you are from outside, that means around 30 to $50,000 per month through webinar funnels. Now, why I'm saying this, because this is entire SOP is coming from after working with brands generating multiple crores through webinar funnels only. And when I say webinar, again, I'm referring to group to one to many selling. That is your web master classes, boot camps, workshops, and all. Okay, I work with them personally. We have used this funnel, so and we have generated multiple lakhs through this funnel as well for our business too. It's overall 6 to 7 years of experience of working with the edtech brands globally. I'm sharing this entire SOP with you, right? And if you want to check out some details like which other brands have been using these funnels that we are working with, you can check out on some of the videos I will put in here somewhere. You can check them out. Their case studies, Locktopus, 1 to 10x, and Bullspree. All these are some great case studies. Those who will leverage webinar funnel. All right, now let's talk about the first step. Now, this video is for anybody who's just starting from scratch, who has been struggling to scale their webinar funnel, spending some money but not getting results. Also for somebody who's spending a lot but not getting the right output. That means some of these steps are missing. So I'll be sharing 10 steps in this video to ensure you watch step by step and share with your marketing team so that they can implement this in your business. Or else if you need direct support from us, there will be a link in the description. You can book a call with us and we can help you to implement this entire setup properly inside your business and help you scale your business. So the link will be there in the description. Now let's start with the step number one. Now the very first step is to understand the unit economics of your webinar, workshop, bootcamp, whatever you're doing. So before spending any rupee on your ads, know whether your webinar can actually scale it profitably or not. Now, how to know about it? First of all, first question should I answer is, shall I use webinar funnel? Shall I use a different funnel altogether, like demo call or a VSL funnel or a direct call booking or some other opt-in where I'm getting leads and my team is calling them on the phone and selling. Now, this is what I always suggest. If you are a beginner, nobody knows you. You don't have good testimonials also. I would not going to recommend you to work on your webinar. Instead, you use some other funnel, work with some of the students on a one-to-one if possible or in a group, get them results, and then you have good testimonials, and then you those testimonials you can use in show in the webinar and workshop. Why I'm saying this, because in group selling, when you're selling to, let's suppose, 100, 200, 500,000, depending upon at what scale you are selling, people want to see the social proof a lot more than in your one-to-one call. Okay, because you're selling to a group, so you need to show them multiple testimonial case study proof that whatever you are saying you're going to deliver, irrespective of how good is your product. And on daily basis talking to so much inspiring at tech founders passionate about their product, but they don't have proofs, they don't have testimonial, and they're gonna struggle to sell. As cliche as boring it may sound, but that's the truth. Okay, if you don't have proof of what you're promising, you will struggle to sell in a webinar. So if you're absolute beginner who's starting your journey, I would highly recommend go implement VSL or a demo call or a one-to-one call booking funnel. Try it for at least 2 3 months or 4 months. Have one-to-one setup done. Get the results for your students, whosoever level, whatever you're selling, whether you are into K-12 or you're targeting test prep segment like NEET, JEE, IIT, and all, or if you are targeting freshers, or if you're targeting working professionals, or even if you are into B2B, work on one-to-one basis. That will give you a lot of idea, because you need to speak to more number of people. Your even product is not validated. You don't have testimonial proofs and all, feedbacks and all. So work with one to one, you will get a lot of idea, and then you can improve on your product, and then you can launch towards the webinar funnel. Otherwise, 8 out of 10 times I've seen people struggle to scale webinar funnel because they don't have it. In fact, I was talking to somebody a few days back. They were spending around 1.25 lakh on webinar funnel. Guess what? How much they were generating? 80,000, 90,000. They are not even have a break even. They're losing out money on the webinar, and they were selling data engineering programs, right? So that's why I'm telling you this funnel gonna only work if you have some proofs. Otherwise, you will struggle, irrespective of how good is your product is, irrespective of that. All right. So, firstly, understand your unit economics. Now, when it comes to unit economics, I will talk about free webinar workshop funnel also and paid one as well, and difference between them. Because this is another common question asked: oh, shall I do it for free? Shall I charge something like 99, 199, 499, or 999? So, I will answer this. See, so when you go with a free webinar, always expect some freeloaders to join in. Okay, freeloaders means who keep on hopping from webinar to webinar just for the knowledge. They're not going to implement. So the quality of the lead that you are having for your webinar will be slightly lesser, right? So if you are doing somebody again for the very first time, I would recommend you try it for free. But when you go for free, you need to have a huge volume of registrations. For example, I'm giving you the example, and I will show you the math also. Okay, and then you will be able to understand what I'm saying. So when you are doing a free webinar, you need to understand that. So when you are doing a free webinar, you need to understand that you're gonna get a poor quality lead, and you need to have a good volume because the show up rate will be around 25-30%, provided you have reminded them on the call, you have sent the reminders on the WhatsApp, on the emails and everything, you have nurtured them properly. Still, we have seen huge and big brands struggle to get 30% show up rate in free webinars. Okay, I've been working with brands who are doing free webinars, so I always tell them aim for 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 registrations, so that at least 1,000 or 800 people show up in your webinar. I'm talking about a company generating around 40 to 50 lakh in a month through just a webinar funnel. Okay, I'm talking about that example, and they're a renowned brand in India, right? So when you talk about a free webinar, do not look for just 100 registration, 200 registration. When you do that, and I'm talking about scale, I'm not talking about just 100 registration, 550. Okay, I'm talking about at scale. That's the topic of the video, scale. Because webinar funnel only going to succeed when you have good show up in the rooms, when you have more people. Because group selling is always about the energy. People see, people do. Monkey see, monkey do, right? It's a lot of energy game. So just by sitting with 50 people, 100 people in the room, 100 is still okay, but 50 people, and that's what really happens, right? 30, 40, 50 people join the program, and then they don't see anybody taking action, they drop off as well. So it's always the energy game. So whenever you're doing any free webinar, look for at least 500, 1,000 registrations, so that you have some 25-30% people showing up in your webinar. And also the issue with the free webinar is the conversion ratio is slightly lesser. We have seen it's around 5%, 3 to 5% in a free webinar. Occasionally, yes, you can touch base 8 to 10% in the to conversion. I'm talking about the conversion from the show ups to the conversion, show ups to the sales closing. That means attendees who are show up, 5% of that. Okay, so 3 to 5% is the average in the free webinar model. Average, okay, it can go up 7 to 8% at times, but I'm talking about the average. So these are some of the cons of doing a free webinar. But the pros are you get very cheap lead per cost. I mean, you even get, we have seen people getting 50 rupees cost per lead, and they have acquired around 3,000, 4,000 registrations for the webinar. So I've given you a range. It can be around 100, 150 is a really good amount. Okay. If you are in that range, 100 and 150 for free webinar, it's a good range. If you're above 250 or 200, it's an alarm for you. You need to optimize your marketing. Marketing is not done properly. All right. So these are the cons, because you're gonna get cheaper lead per cost and you get good volume. Okay. So let's now talk about the paid one. Similarly, in the paid one, there will be pros and cons. So what are the pros? You get good refined quality people, at least who have paid you some amount. It can be 99, 199, or 499, whatever that you want to charge. Or if you are selling in international market, you can charge $9, $7, $11, or $17, something along those lines, or $49 also if you want. Okay, so this is for the paid webinar. So these people are paying you some amount. That means they have an intention to show up and they have an intention to learn. The intent is slightly higher here in this case. Okay. Secondly, also the show up rate is higher as compared to free webinar. In paid webinar, you get around 50 to 70% show up rates. Provided again you remind them properly, you call them properly, you nurture them properly, right? 50 to 70% show up rate, which is again a good number, right? And thirdly, the conversion ratio also we have seen is around 8 to 10% in the paid webinars. That's a good number. Again, I'm calculating on the sales conversion on the attendees who show up, right? So, for example, if 200 people have show up, you can expect somewhere around 18 to 20 or 15 to 20 sales, okay, at the ticket size of around 50K, right? Whether you're selling in Indian market or international market. All right, now let's talk about the numbers. So I've stated you the pros and cons, and the con of the this is the lead per cost is higher. At least you can expect it will go around 300, nearby 300, and it can go up to 600, 700 also when you go on scaling, right? So this is the math. Now, for example, for this we are taking for the paid webinar. Here you can see it, or I have I think shared here as well. So let me talk about this example here. So for example, registration we are aiming for 500 for a paid webinar, and that's why again I would recommend don't look for just 100 registration or 200 registrations, because again the volume will be really less. People who are gonna show up, and you might not see that much conversion or a good huge. I always recommend when you do webinar workshop, at least look out for revenue of around 5 lakh, 4 to 5 lakh, at least minimum I'm talking about from one webinar with the ad spend of around 70,000 to 1 lakh. Now there will be exceptional cases where we have seen a ROAS of 15x, 20x, 10x as well, even 24x. But these are exceptional cases and once in a blue moon scenario. Do not fall for them. I'm telling you this from last 6, 7 years. I've conducted multiple workshop webinar for myself. Hundreds of webinar I've seen people doing, the clients of my ours, right? And one of the tech brand doing 6, 7 webinar every single month. And I've been associated with them from last 2, 3 years. So I'm telling you this data, this is a realistic data. Don't fall for that 15x ROAS, 17x ROAS. Yes, we have seen that as well in our client case. Even we have seen in our business too. But these are once in a blue moon, not a proper scaling numbers. Okay, so please don't fall for all this, numbers and all when you see people making claims like that. At least I would highly recommend whether you do a paid webinar or a free webinar, look for 500 registrations. Okay, cost per lead here can be around, as I mentioned to you, 300 to 600 in between. Usually, what we have seen is anything less than 400 is really good for a 99 rupee paid webinar. I'm talking about minimum if you want to charge 99 rupees. As you're gonna increase the price, the 199, 499, of course, your cost gonna go up. Will touch 1000 also if you're charging 499. Okay, so this 300 600 I'm talking from a perspective of 99 and 199. If you're going to charge more and more registration fee, your CAC will go up. It will touch 1000 as well. Okay, so at the ad budget, for example, if I consider CPL of 400, consider it a 400 average, although I would recommend keep it less than 400, but still at 400. So that means the amount I need to spend is 2 lakh rupees for this particular webinar. Okay, the show up rate for this at a 99 rupees will be around 50 to 70%. And what I've also seen people use bump offers. If you understand bump offers, what I mean by that is basically you register for 99, but if you need some additional, like, if you want the resources, the recording of all my webinar, workshop, and all, you pay additional and 100 rupees or 300 rupees and 400 rupees. So that's a bump offer also you can utilize. You must have seen in physical events if you want golden seat, silver seat, platinum seat, all like that, right? So it will be less amount for higher price, for higher price. So on those lines, something similar, you can have a bump offer as well. Attendance, as I mentioned to you, will be around 50 to 70%. Here I have taken around 60%. So out of 500 registration, I expect 250, 300 people to show up. Then conversion is around 8 to 10% for a paid webinar, since we are talking about a paid webinar. So here you can talk about 25 to 30 sales closed. Okay. Considering at a 10%, you can consider around 20 to 25 as well. You can take that number too. Uh, and then revenue at a ticket size. Now, if you're selling in Indian tech, Indian tech somewhere 25,000 to 1 lakh in between range. Average ticket size we are taking is 50,000. Now, depending upon whether you sell in India or outside of India, you can multiply with your range. Higher the price of your offer, the conversion will be slightly lesser. The percentage will dip slightly. Please make it an lamb. This is a nugget I'm sharing it with you. If you're selling somewhere around 1 lakh to 2 lakh or even beyond that, the price, the conversion rate will slightly reduced. Slightly reduced. Okay. All right. So revenue that will be generating at 25 sales at a 50,000 is 12 lakh 50,000. So 50,000 into 25. Okay. It will be 1 lakh. It will be 12 lakh 50,000. ROAS will be around 6x. 2 lakh is the ad spend and 12 lakh approximately is the revenue. So it's approximately 6x, which is a good return. Anything above 3x to 4x is really good. Okay. Anything above 3x to 4x ROAS is good when you are scaling throughout. I'm not talking about a single month. Overall growth, 3x to 4x is really good in a webinar, right? So here is the unit economics again for a free webinar here. Now, cost per lead will hover from 50 to 250. Approximately, I will keep it like, I mean, for the case I've taken 200, but it will be around 100 and 150. Now again, you can get 50 rupees as well because it depends upon who you're selling, what is your webinar all about, what is the topic and all. But I will consider it around 150, I think will be a better number to take. So when you are having a cost per lead at 150 and I'm looking for 500 free registration for my webinar, I can anticipate ad budget of 75,000. Okay. And here I will take it 150. Okay. Show up rate will be around 25 to 30%, provided you have called them, reminded them, nurtured them properly throughout, which I cannot talk about here. Right. So it will be around 130 people to 150 people who are going to show up. Conversion will be around 5%. So that means around 7 to 8 sales you're going to get. Okay. At a ticket size of, let's suppose, 60,000 here, or I think in our case we have taken 50,000, so we'll take 50,000. So here it will be around approximately 4 lakh in revenue that you will be collecting. Okay. So ROAS will be simply around 4 lakh divided by 75k, right? It's 5.3x. All right. So that will be CAC will be around so if you don't know CAC is cost to acquire a customer. So in our case, we have spent around 75,000 rupees to generate 8 sales for us. So it will be 9.3k, which is a decent CAC. I mean, not say really good, but decent. Anything less than 10,000 is good for a ticket size of 50k CAC. Now your LTV to CAC ratio, what you need to do is your LTV is lifetime value of a customer. If we assume you don't have any other upselling program beyond 50k, that is your only one single program. So divide 50,000 by your CAC, which is, let's suppose, 9.5 or 9.3 in our case. Okay. It's around 5.37 LTV to CAC ratio is approximately 5 is to 1. Approximately. Okay. Which is a really good LTV to CAC ratio. Right, I'm not saying excellent. Excellent can be anything above, like anything around 70x, but still LTV to CAC ratio 5 is to 1. All right. So this is for free webinar, and here again is one more example I've given for the paid webinar. Hope the math is clear. Now whenever you start any webinar, you need to know all these numbers. Discuss with your marketing team first of all. Okay. And you can, these are realistic. Again, I'm telling you, from last 6 7 years we have been doing this. So these numbers, your percentage will hover around nearby only to this what I've just mentioned, provided you have a proper nurturing system, proper calling reminder systems, you have a good offer, you have a testimonial case studies to show. If you don't have it, forget about sales, you will struggle. Again, I'm telling you. So that's, I'm a hope, like a strong believer of having a great program or a product in EdTech, and also having good testimonials to show. If you don't have them, you will have a tough time in selling. Okay. Now, as I mentioned to you, this I've already discussed. Free webinar, the cost per lead is around 50 to 50. Approximately 100 to 150 is something in India you can expect. If you're selling outside, you can consider it around, because we did one webinar with one of our edtech brand in Dubai. Okay, they are into STEM education, K-12, parents and kids teaching robotics and AI. They launched the campaign in Gulf countries, and their CAC was around, their cost per lead for free webinar was around 200 220 rupees. That's it. Okay, which is a good cost per lead. International markets, right? And similarly, if you're doing for UK and US, you can consider it somewhere around something similar, around 250 to 300, within that range for a free webinar, right? So benchmark to remember for a free webinar, show up is 20 to 25%, right? Even brands who are doing good, they struggle with this. So that's the free webinar thing. For paid webinar, it can go up to 50 to 70%, provided you have done your nurturing, calling, reminder, everything properly. Cost per lead, as I mentioned to you, is 300 to 700 for a for a paid webinar, and a healthy conversion ratio is around 8 to 10% for paid webinars. Again, provided you have a good offer and everything, and if typically 3 to 5% for free webinars. Average ticket size Indian market we consider 50K, and so scaling without knowing these numbers is a gambling, I'm telling you. So first, if you're launching for the first time, or if you have been doing webinars but don't have this clarity, focus on that. Now let's talk about your positioning. Now this is the most important thing. So first is knowing your numbers. Step two, nobody buys information, people buy outcome. Again, I'm telling you this. Nobody is there in the webinar just to get buy information. Yes, they need clarity, but they will join your webinar just for knowledge, information, but they're not gonna buy. People don't buy for information. They might join the webinar, but they're not gonna buy. People buy always when you show them the outcome. So if your positioning is weak, no amount of advertising will save your webinar, and that's the truth. So how a weak positioning look like? Learn AI in 3 hours. So these generic terms, okay, or digital marketing course, or learn our stock market course, or learn our data engineering, three secrets to make it into data engineering and all. All these are some weak positioning statement. Now, how you position yourself strongly in any webinar or any VSL call booking funnel? These four things. Please write it down somewhere. These four things you need to you need to have to make a strong positioning. Calling out the target audience, super specific, like who should join this webinar. If you are a BTech student and just recently pass out from your college, now you are wondering how to get the job because you have been applying, but you are getting rejected left, right, and center. And now you're worried what to do. This is how you need to talk about. Exactly, you need to read the emotions of or pain and the challenges of your customer. So you have to call out BTech student, call BTech freshers. If you are selling to BTech freshers, if your target audience is parents from the age group of let's say 6 to 12, talk about, are you a parent of a kid from the age group of 6 to 12, and now you are worried your kid is always on the phone and watching screens, and you're worried you are trying to snatch the phone, or you plug off the TV or laptop, but still they always go again and watch it. Then wait, here's something for you. So call out these kind of audience. So first is target audience, super specific on your landing page, also in your ads, also in your ad copy, also in your static and a video ad. Okay. Second, what you need to do is outcomes should be quantifiable. What they will learn. Become a highly paid AI engineering in 90 days. I will go one more step. Become a highly paid AI engineer in 90 days. Build your 20 to 25 LPA career into data engineering, or build your 20 to 25 LPA AI engineering in 90 days. Join our webinar. Super specific outcome quantifiable. Third is timeline 90 days. Or like one of our EdTech brand clients, Chitti from Tamil Nadu. Again, they are multi-crore brand. How they do it is your child will learn how to build a solar car in 2 hours. Give us 2 hours, and your child will run a real robot with their hands. These are the outcomes. Okay. So be specific timeline wise and outcome wise. Fourth, that is optional. If you have any guarantee, you can give it. Or if you don't have any guarantee, like take your money back. It's a money time guarantee, or money time back. It's a money back guarantee or a time bound guarantee. You can add, for example, if you're selling data engineering program, and you also cater to non-tech students, so you can also mention on your landing page, even if you have a zero tech experience. So tech people will come, non-tech people will also going to join your webinar. All right. This is how you strongly position your webinar. Otherwise, if it is generic, you will gonna get generic people inside. Okay. Then comes step number 3. Hope this is clear. In case you have any question, post that into the comment section and I will answer. So your webinar should lead naturally into your premium offer, a small paid ticket, filter the serious buyers and the paid registrations, and they basically keep your webinar slightly better quality lead. Okay, so you will see slightly better quality lead are joining in. So this is how the outline should look like. Kindly take a screenshot of it or comment webinar below. I will share this with you, entire document. This is how your ad, your content should talk about, like the free webinar that you're doing, properly positioning the way just mentioned to you. Okay. Then there will be a landing page where the outcome, your target audience, the outcome, the timelines, and also the guarantee in case you have will be mentioned properly. Then you will have a proper webinar page where you have testimonials and some success stories so that people join in. And third will be, once they're going to register on the landing page, depending upon whether you're doing it for free or paid, although we recommend paid webinars because you slightly get more serious high intent people. If you are at all doing free webinars, then go for a good volume, at least 500 to 1000 to 2000 people in your webinar. Okay. But consider your conversion rate will be around 3 to 5%. Let's suppose if you are having 1000 registrations for a free webinar, you can anticipate around 250 people to show up, or 200. Consider the 5% of it, right? It will be hardly 10 sales. So you can anticipate 10 sales for it, or 8 to 10 sales. That will be the number. Okay. So confirmation page basically will be thank you page. Once they register on the page, then they will land on a thank you page. There you can have a WhatsApp group. Do not forget to add them into a WhatsApp group. Okay. On the thank you page, tell them to join the WhatsApp group for the latest updates, some freebies, some bonuses. Right. And once they're gonna register, they should have a proper email automation and a WhatsApp automation should go to them. Okay. Like this. WhatsApp and email. All this automation should go to them. Okay. And here you're gonna do your live webinar. Right. Now it can be 90-minute, 120-minute, 1 hour, depending upon who you are teaching to. Because if you are doing it for parents and kids, they cannot stay long for 4 hour, 3 hour. But if similarly, if you are selling to working professionals or students, still they can sit for 3, 4 hours. So depending upon that, there is no ideal timeline. I will be telling you, but yeah, it should not be less than 90 minutes at least, because people will not gonna buy in 60 minutes unless and until you are a big brand. You're a very well-renowned face. Okay. And then in the webinar, you're gonna sell your main offer. Okay, which can be a 50K offer, which I just shared above. Right. So this can be something like that. Okay. So again, repeating, add organic content. You should drive it organically as well. Should just don't rely on no paid ads to drive the traffic. Also your registration page, I would recommend having paid one if you're starting out. But if you're a big brand, or if you can afford 1000 2000 registrations, go for it. Then you have a like on the thank you page, you should have a WhatsApp group, and there should be automation properly as soon as they register. Automation WhatsApp group links should go to them through email and through WhatsApp, and welcome email and all, and nurturing should happen there. Then in the WhatsApp group, you need to nurture till the time the webinar appears. Okay. Now people will gonna ask me, hi Sachin, like what should be the gap of my webinar and my uh, when should I launch my campaign? I always tell them at least 15 to 20 days. 3 weeks to be more on a safer side. But if you are continuously doing webinar, at least 15 days, 14 to 15 days. Now we have launched the webinar 10 days prior as well, and you've got a lot many, like thousands of registrations. But you need to rush, and you need to scale the budget with speed, and at times that leads to a lot of bleeding when it comes to spending on Meta and Google both. So to be on safer side, keep it 14 days to 15 days. Okay. And here you will send them offer emails and replays as well if you want to, and ask them to buy your program through email nurturing after the your webinar is done. Okay. So this should be the outline of your webinar, how should go about it. Hope this is clear to you guys. All right. Now let's move to the next part. So running a free workshop or bootcamp, registration get cheaper. So budget stretch to 5x further, but quality drops. Your reminder qualification layer must work harder. So there's a no right and wrong answer here. But as I mentioned to you, I would recommend doing it paid once, but you can try for free one as well, but you need more volume there. Okay. All right. Now let's move to the next one. Building multiple traffic sources. As I shared with you, this is again a common, hope you already understand, if you're running webinars, you should just not rely on meta ads. You should have your Instagram content, email nurturing, your WhatsApp broadcast, even your affiliate partners, or your white or your YouTube channel. Now, if you have consumed some of my videos, you understand I always recommend EdTech founders to build their brand on these two social media platform, at least minimum: Instagram, YouTube. On Instagram, people scroll. Whether you're selling to parents, kids, working professionals, everybody use Instagram in their free time. So it's a good time to hook them up in your ad. YouTube, because when people, still 70% of the students, if they want to learn something, or even professionals, adults, they still go on Google and YouTube to search, or Chat GPT, you can call it. Even Chat GPT take the data from Google and YouTube. Okay, so please make sure that you put out your organic content on YouTube, at least long form also, short form also, both, right? So you invite them to your paid webinar. So just do not rely on only on ads. Not a good strategy putting all your eggs in one basket. Otherwise, you will struggle. Your CAC will go up, because by combining all this, your blended CAC can be even less than 100. For a paid webinar, you can bring it down to 250 also. At scale, I'm talking about. If you are good in organic content, if you have multiple sources. Similarly, for free webinar, you can bring it down to less than even 100 rupees, 50 rupees, 40 rupees also. Okay, so that's how it is. So this is step number 4. Now step number 5 is build the right meta ad structure. This is important. So I have intentionally just using these visuals so that you understand them properly, not a lot of written content here. So first you start with interest based targeting. Now here's the thing: after Andromeda update, in interest, a lot of people say they don't want to put any keyword. But what we have seen, still you need to put some keywords there, not too many, but at least 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 keywords, depending upon the niche that you are into. Okay. Yes, your ad copy matters a lot, what is written in the ad. Your static matters a lot, what is written there. Your landing page matters a lot, your, like, what is written there. And there you need to have in all three of them: ad copy, static, or a video ad, or a landing page. In all three, you should call out your exact audience, be specific, what outcome they're gonna get. That should also be mentioned. Some case studies. Okay. So I would highly recommend you to have a proper congruency on in your ads and landing page. Point one. Point number two: interest targeting should be there. Okay. You should not forget in interest targeting, it should be there, at least 5 to 6 keywords. And depending upon your budget, I would recommend at least run your webinar. Don't run your webinar pan India. Run your webinar in at least 5 to 8 cities, or 10 cities maximum. If you are spending 1 lakh on your webinar, around 8 to 10 cities are more than sufficient. Tier 1, tier 2 both. Okay. Then if you are a business who have a lot of past data, that means leads data, customer data, create lookalike also. So if you want to know how to set up the webinar campaign and all, you can join our free school community. There we share a lot of free resources. It's absolutely free. Link again you will find in the description. You can join there. It's a free community for tech founders to join in. And so first you have a broad targeting audience, broad ad set. This can be one. Then you have a lookalike ad set. This can be second one. Okay, and then you can later on can add retargeting audience depending upon how much time you have. For all those people, those who have, you know uh, those who were there in your funnel in the past but did not convert it, didn't join you, you can retarget them. Okay, so these three ad sets you can apply in your meta ads campaign. One is broad targeting, interest based. Another one is a lookalike of your customers or your quality lead, and third one can be retargeting the lead data. This, you need to have a very big size. For this to succeed, you need to have a big number in terms of like thousands of data. If you don't have it, at least run on interest, broad targeting, and lookalike targeting. Okay, three ad sets. And these are the type of ads you can run. Founder talking head. Okay, founder talking about it, success stories, problem solution. Again, there are different variations, case studies, myth busting video. All this I've covered already in one of the video, viral ad framework. If you've not seen the video, again, I'm gonna add somewhere here. You can check it out. I've shared multiple ways to record high converting ads for your edtech programs. Okay, you can check that out in video. So these are some of the examples. There are a lot more. You can join our free school community. It's a edtech hub for all the founders who want to scale, and you can access all these kind of strategies there. Okay. Now moving to the next one, which is your registration funnel. I think I've already shared that with you. This part I think we have already covered, so I'm not going to repeat this again. Or in fact, I think let me remove this part completely from this because this is already covered. Yes. So this will be my step number 6. This will be my step number 7. This will be my 8 and 9. Okay. So now how to increase the attendance? Okay, the webinar campaigning, everything is set up, done, is done properly now. How should I increase the webinar attendance? As I mentioned to you that on your thank you page, you should have a WhatsApp group. So as soon as somebody joins in, they should instantly get an email and a WhatsApp. Okay. Second thing I would recommend, ask your sales team to call them. If people have not, those who have not joined the WhatsApp group, ask your team to call them up and send them the WhatsApp invite there. Yes, there need to be some manual effort here. If you really want to, because this is the most important step perhaps in the entire webinar funnel. Okay. This is the most important step. How you can increase the webinar attendance or workshop. Okay. So as soon that's where your automation need to come in picture. And I've already created an automation video, detailed automation video, 30 to 45-minute video on my YouTube channel. Check it out if you don't know how to do the proper automation of your webinar. Okay. So immediately after the registration, do a WhatsApp and email reminder to them. Okay. Then what you can do is keep on sending them email, not the reminders, but just the email to nurture, like educational emails, case studies, testimonials, uh, talk about what is happening in the industry. Okay. All these kind of emails, you need to keep on sending them every second, third day. People who have joined in the WhatsApp group, they are getting nurtured every single day. Post something in the group, share your case studies, put those case studies on your YouTube channel, ask them to go through it, share some freebies, some checklists, some videos, some content so that they can consume. Record some content. If you're selling, like if you want to help people to have a like data analytics career and all, talk about a framework that you follow, like overview only. Okay. 3 big mistakes people do when it comes to scaling, when it comes to building their career. 3 mistakes to avoid, 5 mistakes to avoid, 3 things to keep in mind when you are going for interview. So even for parents also, you can record those videos. These kind of videos you need to have on your YouTube channel. The more content they will consume, the more intent will be there for them to show up. That's the logic behind it. An average buyer needs 12 hours of your content. 12 hours of your content. That's why YouTube long format is a gold mine for you in edtech, in education. That's why Physics Wala, an academy, think a bigger giant you see in edtech. They all use WhatsApp. They all use YouTube like very rigorously. Why? Because the more long form content they will consume, the more are the chances that they will convert. Okay. So put all these kind of videos in the WhatsApp group. And as I mentioned, those who have not joined the group, call them, remind them. Of course, there'll be certain percentage that are not going to join in, but from your side, keep on reminding them. Okay. Second thing is give some freebies, some checklists, some access in the WhatsApp group that you have built. Because now the ads are running, the group has started. Now, what should I do till the time webinar happens? This is what I'm sharing with you. Okay. Nurture them, send them once in a day, send them this. Raise polls, understand your audience. How many of you are having a so let's know about you. Like let's get to know each other. How many years of experience you have? 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 year plus. These kind of polls so that you understand the audience, what kind of audience is joining it, right? So all these things you can do to really improve your show up rates. And then what I would suggest is the most important part. I'm sharing it with you that 3 hours before, 24 hours before, 1 hour before, all these reminders can go. WhatsApps can go, but a day prior to the webinar, call all your registrations. Now I know brands using AI calling also. If you have huge volume, like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 registrations, you can do AI calling also. You don't need to have a manual caller. But if you even have 300, 500 registrations, do manual calling. Okay. And if you need a tool, what should AI tool should I use? Vapi.ai. You can check it out. Vapi.ai. Maybe I will record a video on AI calling as well, AI calling systems. Yeah, I will record a video on YouTube and you can go through it. Brands like Loss Eco, Loctopus, and bigger brands, even 1 to 10x, Growth School, uh, all these Leap Scholar, they use AI calling, right? So use AI calling as well if you want to, but remember, a day prior to them, have a call, give them a call, and even on the day during the day of the webinar, also you can call. Like for example, if your webinar is in the morning from 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., in the morning also you can remind them through AI calling, or your team can call them as well, right? But day before, I would highly recommend to do it because that you're going to set the tone whether they're going to join or not, and again send them the links if needed. All those things you can do to increase your show up rate, because this is the most important part and you need to put effort here, manual also, and you can automate as well, right? But this will decide whether your webinar funnel will succeed or not. Entire show up rate. Okay, so all these efforts you need to put in to get this percentage of show ups. We have seen 80% show up also in certain cases, but average is 50 to 70%. Okay. Now let's go down to the next step. I hope this is useful. Again, if you have any questions, comment below. I will happy to answer this. Majority of the people are okay, Sachin. What should be my delivery structure then? Like, how long should I talk? What should I start with? How should I do it? And how should I, how much time should I spend on my sales pitch? How much Q&A and all? How much time should I do all this? So what all you need to do here in this case is 10 minute will be the introduction, icebreaker. Okay, which city you are joining from? Ask some questions, generic questions, welcome them. You can play background music as well if you want to. Okay. Then for next 20 minutes, set the context. A brief about like what they're gonna learn today, what this webinar is all about, what are the rules, what they should do, what they should not do during the webinar. So set the context. Okay. Then talk about what is the main problem you guys are solving, why you are solving that problem. Talk about the vision, talk about the case study of the case study or the story of the brand, how scale had started. I always talk about before I start my webinar so that they are aware, okay, why it started, my own personal story as well, so that they really connect with my story, so that they understand that, okay, who I'm speaking with. You should know your mentor, who gonna teach me, what is the background of this guy, or the brand as well. You can ask. Okay, so this should happen within 15 to 20 minutes. All this context setting and everything. It's the time to have a emotional connect with your audience. Scanning your audience also, asking them to put some comment, how many years of experience they have, what is their package, what they want to learn today, what is one thing they want to learn today. All these things you can ask in a poll or in the Zoom chat, right? Then you can go into teaching framework. Now 35 minutes I've kept just for the 90-minute part. Okay, you can take it to 45 minutes also, right? That totally depends whether you are doing a 3 4 hour webinar or a whatever. So at least 40 45 minute teaching time should be there, and each of this teaching framework you know to add your case study and proof. Okay, so 35 plus 15 is 50 minutes. So that in those 50 minutes you know to teach also and show the proofs also. Three things they will learn today. Talk about first thing, case study testimonial. Talk about second thing, case study testimonial. Third thing, talk about case study plus testimonial. Like this, right? So this will be a 50-minute affair. All this. Then 20 to 25 minutes you will save for your sales or offer presentation. Don't hurry when you are doing sales and learning. A lot of people panic. Oh, they will leave. Let me just rush through it. No, there are people sitting in the room who need it, who want to hear your offer. So take time, take your sweet time, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Don't rush through it. Explain as much as you can in the offer. Talk about what all the value they're gonna get. Okay. Take pauses here in the sales pitch. Don't rush through it. Okay. And then last 25 minutes you can keep for Q&A. So that's how you can wrap up your entire webinar. Right. So this is again a 90-minute to 120-minute thing that I'm just mentioned to you. So 2 hours is, I think I would highly recommend 2 hours should be minimum. Otherwise, you will not be able to evoke that emotion in people and have enough trust from them that people should buy from you. It's a game of trust only, right? When people buy from you, that means you've gained their trust. They believe that you will solve their problem. But anything less than 2 hours, I would not recommend you to do it because people will not gonna see able to connect with you and they will buy from you. Okay, so don't do this with it. Hope this is useful. Still, if you have any question, ask me in the comment. Sales process after the webinar. Now, here is something that you can do. Now, depending upon what you sell, what is the ticket size. If you are selling anything of 50,000, don't ask them to pay all the 50,000 in that webinar itself. Take some token. It can be 3,000, it can be 4,000, it can be 5,000, it can be 10,000. Even if it can be 1,000 only, take some token, right? 1,000 to 2,000 is the ideal, which we have seen, even 3,000 also. So anything between 1K to 3K, you can charge that as a token. Collect that token. It's a form of commitment from them that they are in, and tell them that in next 7 days we will reach out to you. My team will reach out to you tomorrow. If your team gonna follow up on tomorrow, if your team gonna do the follow up on the same day, tell them in the meeting, in the webinar itself. Those who have registered, my team will reach out to you today after 3 hours, 2 hours of this webinar. Kindly respond to them, and rest of the payment will be complete before the batch start, cohort start. It can be uh, within 7 days. You can collect the entire payment, or 14 days max. Okay, 7 days ideal, or 10 days max. Collect the entire payment. Okay, so take some token, book a call, qualify, sales call, and you just follow up and complete the entire payment. Okay, within 40 days. Although I mentioned 7 days is good, but you can go to maximum 14 days. So once they pay the amount, tell them that my team will reach out to you to book a one-to-one calls. So then that one-to-one call, you explain the entire program. You share with them what are the next steps. Payment plans also depending upon if they need the payment plan or not. And then you can do the follow-up and complete the payment before the 14th day. All right. Or I would highly recommend keep it 7 days, and maybe you can then extend to 10 days max. Okay. This is how the post-sales webinar process should be. Hope this is clear. Don't charge them 50,000 or 60,000 in that webinar itself. Take token amount. Ideally, 1,000 to 2,000 rupees, or triple nine, one triple nine. Okay. Now, what are the biggest webinar mistakes that people do? Every important of the funnel compounds over time. Now, here's the truth. I will telling you. Okay. Now, here's the truth. I will tell you. After doing, like, as I mentioned to you, seeing hundreds and hundreds of webinar brands doing multi multiple crore also, and brands who are just starting out and doing webinar are failing miserably. If you are doing webinar for the very first time, or initially one or two time, don't expect it to be perfect. Yes, keep this entire SOP process in mind, but don't expect to make it perfect or look perfect. Otherwise, you will be fooling yourself. Every webinar you will learn a lot, and do not give up on this. People see people see, oh, I'm not getting results, then they give up on this and they try to jump on something else. There again, they try for one or two times, then again give up. Any funnel takes some time to prosper and to really give you consistent output. Please understand this. I'm very honest with you. Okay, nobody gonna share this with you. Every webinar done properly, even if this SOP is followed, you need to do it slightly consistently for at least for a month or a two or a three to really make it consistent and see tangible results. Any funnel, not only webinar, even a VSL call booking funnel. When I say consistent results, means generating multiple lakhs. Okay. So fail fast, ensure you follow the process. Okay. But at the same time, reflect on it. What I need to tweak. We took a lot of webinars to fine tune our entire pitch and everything, even the delivery also. Okay, so ensure that you do not give up and just do one or two webinar and then say, oh, it's not working, let me do something else. That's the biggest mistake that you can do, right? So what are the common mistake? Free webinar, I'm not going to call it a mistake though, those who do free webinar. But free webinar with just expecting 100, 200, even 500 registration is not a good strategy if you really want to generate 5-10 lakh from one webinar. Okay, it's not a good strategy. I would recommend go for paid webinar. If you are even starting, go for paid webinar. You have some serious audience. Okay, and yeah, just Giving 20,000, 30,000 budget not going to help you to get maximum output from it. See it like a testing budget. You will not going to get it out. I would highly recommend minimum 50,000 keep a budget, not less than that for a webinar to really succeed. Minimum 50,000 rupees. Or if you ask me, if you're a brand doing 5, 10 lakh at least, or if not 50, 75K, if not 1 lakh, 75K to 80K minimum to really generate a 4 to 5 lakh revenue from one webinar. Okay. I've showed you the math here. It's a 4x return. Yeah, 5.3 here. Provided you're a well-known brand. If you're a starter, you might struggle to get this result 5x ROAS. Here also you get 6x ROAS. Okay. So by investing 1 lakh, you can easily generate around 4 to 5 lakhs through a webinar. I'm really honest with you. I'm not a guy who wanna tell you, oh, just invest 300, 500 rupee per day for your webinar. You're gonna get no anything less than 50,000. Don't even. You might get a success in one time, but not again and again. Minimum 50K, or at least if you really want to see it, at least I would recommend 75K to 1 lakh. That. So that's the idea on the paid versus free. One ad creative, multiple ad creative, multiple angles. I've done multiple videos on it. Again, if you want to know what are the multiple angles, multiple ads I can do, variations of ad I can do, join the school community for free. We share there. Weak positioning, outcome based positioning. I already told you this is one of the most important thing, or you can call it offer. A weak offer, irrespective if you even sell in US and UK market, rich people they will not. They also don't gonna buy it from you because it's not clear. The clarity is not there. Okay, a unclear offer always gonna attract random people who are not gonna buy. Okay, poor reminder system. Most important metric is the show up rate that will determine whether your webinar will be successful or it will be flop. Multi-touch point reminder sequence. Automation plus manual, both is needed. Don't just rely on WhatsApp automation, email automation. Okay. No follow-up, structured follow-up from 17 till 7 to 14 days after the webinar. Scaling gadget built too early, improve funnel before increasing the ad spend. So it's a systematic scaling. You need to do at least 25 to 30% increase every second to third day. Tracking only revenue, tracking the entire webinar dashboard. All these KPIs which I shared with you. Everything matters. Okay. Even your traffic source also matters a lot. Where you are generating the traffic from. Okay. So I hope this video is really useful for you. These are the nice steps that you can use in order to scale your webinar. In case still you have any questions, comment in the section. I will happy to answer that. So implement this webinar SOP, marketing SOP inside your business. And as I mentioned, if you want to directly take our help, implementation support, of course, there'll be some investment that you need to make. Click on the link below, book the call, have a call with us. We will help you to diagnose where the main root cause and how we can help you scale your business to 2x, 3x in 6 months. But there are a lot of free resources. There is a free school community that you can join. All the nuggets, all these SOPs, all the system on marketing, sales, automation, ad hooks, ad strategies, I keep on sharing there as well. Okay. And you will be able to interact with multiple EdTech founders across the globe. There, we are making this a free global community to ensure that you guys implement by yourself if you want to. But if you need our help also, that option is also available for you, right? Who want result faster rather than doing trial and error by themselves. Okay. So that option is also there. I hope this video was useful. Again, still, if you have any questions, ask me in the comment. If you like it, then please do a thumbs up and share it with your friends as well. It will help me to reach out to more number of people and fulfill my mission. Thank you so much for watching this. I will see you in the next video.